Good morning. God bless you. To the Bell family, on behalf of the Contours and on behalf of my family, may the light of God surround you, the love of God enfold you, the power of God protect you, and the presence of God watch over you. And wherever you are, God is. I've had some good days, and I've had some hills to climb. I've had some dreary days and sleepless nights. But oh, as I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh all my bad days, and I won't complain. Sometimes the clouds hang low, and I can hardly see the road. I asked the question, Lord, why so much pain? But oh, as I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh all my bad days, and I won't complain. God's been good to me. He's been so very, 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 very good to me. More than on this so weary world could be. He's been good to me. He'll dry your tears away and turn your midnight into day. I say thank you, Lord. I say thank you, Lord, for you woke me up early this morning. I say thank you, Lord. I won't complain. God's been good to me. He's been so very, 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 very good to me. More than these little weary eyes could see. He's been good to me. He'll dry your tears away. He will turn your midnight into day. So I say thank you, Lord. In the midst of your storm, take time and say thank you, Lord. When your back is against the wall and there's nowhere for you to go, say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I will not complain. God bless you. Let the church say amen. I don't think I've seen it in church, heard it in church like that before, but I ain't complaining at all. Let's give God a big hand praise, because at this time, acknowledgments by Mrs. Caver, and certainly reading of the obituary, proclamations, and tribute to Dorothy, Mrs. Lord. If she would come at this time in that order. Let the church say amen. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Giselle Caver, and I have the honor of having babysat Ken's children. They tried to drive me crazy, but I survived. I survived. They were wonderful children. We have just a few that I'm going to read. With sympathy from John Taylor, and this is with our deepest sympathy from Post 331, Commander Brown. Al will be missed. You have to excuse my voice today. I have sarcoidosis and it affects my vocal cords. Wishing you God's blessings to make you well. We love you, and this is from the Stratton family. From Shepherdess Cohen out of Atlanta, Georgia. She sent a long letter. I won't read the letter, but she enclosed a piece of white prayer cloth for the family. From the Dory Miller Memorial Post 331, American Legion, Orlando, Florida. Resolution dated June the 6th. Life is but a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Be resolved that through the presence of Comrade Alfred Smith, also known as Ken Bell, with us will be greatly missed. We accept with Christian submission God's will in calling him home. In accordance to the word in 1 Corinthians 5:8, we are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution will be sent to the family from the Honorable Commander Revett Brown. The family will acknowledge, the family of Ken Bell wishes to thank everyone for their kind expressions of sympathy, prayers, and all acts of kindness extended to us during this time of bereavement. Thank you.
To Reverend Dr. Jim Holly, the pastor of this historic church, pulpit guest, family, and friends. I am Letha Kelly Lard, representing Councilwoman President Brenda Jones' office with a resolution for the legendary Ken Bell. And it reads, Resolution in Memoriam celebrating the life of Ken Bell. Whereas Ken Bell was a native of Valdosta, Georgia, graduating from Dasher High School, New York School of Broadcast Arts, and the University of Paris. He spoke French fluently. He served in the U.S. Air Force, serving as a French interpreter. He moved to Detroit, Michigan in 1960. And whereas Ken Bell became an integral part of the Detroit radio community, landing a permanent place at WJLB 1400 AM, he quickly rose to prominence as a top jock with a fan club of over 4,000 card-carrying listeners. Known as the Master Blaster, he worked every shift at WJLB and gained popularity with both young and old. Ken Bell's overwhelming popularity led Mayor Roman Gribbs to declare January 31st, 1970 as Ken Bell Day in Detroit. Several music magazines, including Billboard, carried bylines by Ken Bell. And whereas Ken Bell was also known for his civic and community work in Detroit, he was founder and president of the Martin Luther King's Elks National Shrine Organization, a member of the Elks IBPOE of the World, Metropolitan Lodge number 962, Metropolitan Detroit Optimist Club, and the National Association of Television and Radio Announcers, NATRA. Ken Bell was a Detroit business owner of the Celebrity East and Casino Royale nightclubs, and star of Elegance Limousine Service. He is responsible for helping to shape the careers of many of the popular R&B singers, and whereas Ken Bell was a mentor to his 5 children and other neighborhood children, he was a giving person with an infectious smile and love for his country and community. After moving to Orlando, Florida, he came back to Detroit often to see the city and visit with family and friends. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Detroit City Council, Office of Council President Brenda Jones, recognize the remarkable life and legacy of Ken Bell, a life that was lived well. May we continue to always remember and honor him. It is signed by all 9 council members. The obituary. The legendary Ken Bell, a man with plenty of soul. He's known in the Motor City, Detroit, as Ken Bell. Alfred Smith Ken Bell was born in Valdosta, Georgia. He was born to Catherine Smith on July 27, 1937. Ken had 3 siblings, Tommy Hampton, Catherine Hampton, and Earl Hampton, all of whom preceded him in death. Ken graduated from Dasher High School in Valdosta, Georgia. Before leaving Valdosta, Ken and his high school sweetheart, Betty Bell, eloped and moved to New York. Their 25-year marriage ended when Betty was tragically killed in a car accident in 1984. God blessed Ken with an angel, his current wife, Dorothy Smith. They were married in 1989 and have been married for 28 years. Ken attended the New York School of Broadcast Arts as well as the University of Paris. He spoke French fluently and was also a member of the United States Army and Air Force. He was a proud Korean War veteran. Ken began his career at WJLB in the mid-60s. He worked every shift on the 24-hour program station. He took on the title, the Master Blaster. He kept Detroit awake all night playing soulful music. During the day, he did extensive community work. His loyal listeners bought plenty of airtime on his nightly program at WJLB. Ken's popularity was fueled by his desire to help the youth, the senior citizens, the churches, and his community. His willingness to give back to his community and extensive charity work led him to be the recipient of many awards. His fan club consisted of over 4,000 members. On January 31st, 1970, Mayor Roman Gribbs honored Ken with Ken Bell's Day in Detroit. Ken was a passionate mentor. He often spoke fondly of mentoring Donnie, the Love Bug Simpson. His influence was also extended to Ohio, where he helped Charlie Chuck start his DJ career. Charlie went on to own a radio station and the first black owner of a Church's Chicken franchise in Toledo. Ken was industrious and an entrepreneur. Early in his life, he ventured into the management business. He owned a gas station and a dry cleaners in New York. In Detroit, he managed a host of nightclubs, the Casino Royale, Ben's High Chaparral, Mall's Lounge, the Peter Pan, Mr. Kelly's, Ethel's, and Phelps Lounge. After making a name for himself in the nightclub business, he opened the Celebrity East on the east side of Detroit. With family and friends at the helm, the business became an overnight success. Many local and top recording artists stopped by the Celebrity East to perform. Al Hudson and the Soul Partners got their start at the Celebrity East. After his radio and nightclub ownership, Ken worked with Polydor Polygram Records as a promoter. During this time at Polygram, he helped promote entertainers such as Peaches and Herb, Gap Band, Isaac Hayes, Roy Ayers, and many more. Ken and his wife owned the Star of Elegance limousine service. He was a most sought-after business partner. He also participated in several other business ventures. In Detroit, Ken was a member of the Optimist Club and the IBPOE of W, the Improved Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks of the World, Metropolitan Lodge number 962 in Highland Park. In 2013, Ken and his wife Dorothy moved to Florida. During their stay in Florida, Ken joined two prestigious organizations, the American Legion and Post-Dory Miller number 0331, and the Sophisticated Gents. The Gents honored Ken for his tireless civic participation. The Gents remarked to Dorothy, "We are happy to have him as a part of our organization. He is a gem." Ken and his wife Dorothy also founded Praise Team of America, PTA, a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising funds for scholarships for homeless veterans, battered women, and children. Ken is survived by his wife Dorothy and his children, Alfred Smith, Crescendo, Bernice Epps, Tony, Denise Mosley, William, Kenneth Smith, Amber, Rochelle Rocky Kelly, Darren Rice, Wallace Rice, Charmaine, Derwin Epps, Vincent Mosley and Rachel Smith Green, his grandchildren, Alexandria, Asia, Dominique, Christopher, Katrina, Terriana, Destiny, Selena, Reynard, Dante, Sabrina, Shania, Sade, Sierra, and 12 great-grandchildren. His sister-in-laws, Ellen Bell, Mary Hampton, Teresa Poole, and Mariana Whitehead. Ken lived a life that he loved. He loved the people in his life, especially his family. With that infectious smile, he tried to make everyone's day he met a Friday. He will be missed, but never forgotten. because his legend will live on through those of us who knew and loved him. Ken, we loved you, but God loved you best. And at this time, his children will come with a tribute to his wife, Dorothy. Thank you.
A tribute to my wife. I have to give you a little history about this letter. When my dad went on to be with the Lord, we were at the house, and he was planning his birthday party. He was very excited about that birthday party. And we were going through his things, and in the room there, a tablet, the planner was there, and Dorothy found the letter that my dad had written to her. So this is a current letter that my dad had there. This was written by my dad. Dorothy, you have been more than a wife. You have been a person who helped change my life. Even though I am short, you made me feel tall. You made me feel proud. I love you so much. That's why I talk so loud. Oh yeah, I'm black and I'm proud. Our children, your children, our sons, our daughters, grandchildren, Denise, Bernice, Alfred, Kenny, Rocky, Darren, Wallace, and 23, I still can't believe it's 23, 23 grandchildren and 12 great-grandchildren. We will be up all night naming them all. They know we love them, and we've shown them that. We've never treated our children, as some would say, stepchildren. When we got married, they were all our children. And this has been so true. Dorothy, we're standing here because we love you. And we know that Dad wants us to make sure you know that. I've known you, my siblings have known you longer than our biological mother. You're an angel, just like what Dad called you. And we love you, Dorothy. It takes a special woman to know what a man needs, not just what he wants, but you knew what he needed, and that was you. We love you, Dorothy. We always are going to be there for you, and we will miss him together.
If you want to know where I'm going, where I'm going soon, if anybody asks you where I'm going, where I'm going soon. Oh, I'm going up yonder. I'm going up can take the pain, the heartaches that they bring, the comfort in knowing I'll soon be gone. As God gives me grace to run this race, soon I'll see my Savior. I'm gonna see him face to face. Oh, I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Oh, I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Oh, I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Oh, I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord.
Let the church say amen. Amen. Now y'all act like y'all want to have some church up here now. Come on, let's give God another hand praise for. Is Donnie Simpson here? Oh man, Donnie, God bless you. Come on up here, man. Thomas Loman. Gino Washington, Gino, R.J. Watkins. Let the church say amen.
Whew. Wow. Well, good afternoon. It's good to see you, Detroit. Y'all know this is where I'm from, and I love Detroit. Love Detroit. Wow. I never work from a script. It's just all off the top of the head. So if it gets a little convoluted, please forgive me. But, I'm going to go back to the beginning. There are very few people that mold young men. And I'm going to go back to the year 1968, where this song was released called Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, by James Brown. That dude helped shape me, mold me from afar with that song, to teach me that to be proud of who I was. 1 year later, I decided to start doing radio. I wanted to do radio, okay? I grew up in my mother's record shop in Detroit, right here, and when I was 15 years old, I had this heavy voice, and so people used to come to the record shop and say, man, you ought to be a DJ, and it was in one ear and out the other. I wanted to be a Baptist minister. Somewhere along the line, George Clinton turned me out, and that didn't happen. So, but one day, she had a live broadcast from the station, from the record shop, and Al Perkins came in to do his show from there. And, again, I had, people would say that all the time because I had this heavy voice, but I had no interest in that. So I went into his booth, and he's there patting his foot to the music and grooving. I was like, man, I could do that. And that was the very day I became interested in radio. And so I borrowed a tape player from my sister's boyfriend, and I would sit down in the basement of my mother's house and do 6-hour radio shows every day. That's what I did. The guy that allowed me to come into the radio station and make tapes there and then critique them was Ken Bell. You know, he saw something in this young boy at 15 years old, you know, that I couldn't see in myself. You know, I remember one night I was back there recording, doing my thing, you know, just practicing, trying to learn how to do this. And Ken came running into the studio. He says, "Man, what's wrong?" I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "You're on the air." I pushed this little button I saw that said AM. Well, what damage could that do? But the beauty of it, I still see his face this day. He was not mad. He was still that smile. I think that smile was just etched in his face. He was still smiling, still calm, still a gentleman. You know, no, you can't do that. No, don't push that button. It's, you know, that's, oh man, no, it's cool, it's cool. You know, he was just so great. And I remember when being in D.C. doing radio, and I had a partner, Tony Perkins, who went on to become the weatherman on Good Morning America. And Tony asked me one day, he says, "So Donnie, why do you always invite people into the studio when it's so distracting?" I said, "Because somebody invited me into the studio when I was distracting them." That was a distraction. I put myself on the radio in the middle of his show. Distraction? So, you know, it taught me something as a kid that you have to take time for others. You know, that look what happened because of that distraction. You know, because of that distraction, I became a DJ, radio, television, the whole thing. Because this guy allowed me to come in and be a distraction to him a few nights. You know, and so I never forgot that, never will forget it. You know, that you have to, you never know. You invite people in because you don't know what may turn them on. You know, a career could come out of this visit. And that was because of this man. Radio style, I always felt like I emulated a guy. Y'all may remember Cat Daddy-O. Cat Daddy-O, the cat tracking on your raggedy radio. He was just so cool. He was smooth. You know, I always like smooth. I'm like Snoop. You know, I like smooth. And so anyway, that influenced me on air style. Off air style, there were two people, Ernie Durham and Ken Bell, that I wanted to be like them. They were gentlemen. You know, they were real men. They looked you in their eye. They smiled. They were warm and friendly to everybody. And that's the most important example. Whatever I was on air, the most important thing is what I am off air. And Ken Bell was just such a huge part in forming me into who I am today. Before I go on, I want to tell one quick story though. One night, Ken Bell had to go to the bathroom. He's on the air. He decides to play the flip side of B.B. King's The Thrill Is Gone. Now, young people don't even know what a flip side is anymore. The B-side. What? B-side. So anyway, Ken plays the flip side of this song, and it's a classic. The title of it was, "Nobody Loves Me But My Mama, and She Could Be Jiving Too." Now, what Ken didn't know was that the song was only 1 minute and 27 seconds long. We had monitors in the bathroom. The song faded out. They say to this day there's still pee on the walls at that radio station. Ken trying to get back in there, and that was just my favorite story of Ken. I just never forget that. So anyway, I cannot, well, you know what? I was going to say I cannot say how much I love him, but I don't have to. You know, Ken knew that, without doubt, how much I loved him and how much I appreciate him. There's one guy that's responsible for my career. It is Ken Bell, without doubt. He's not the guy that hired me, but he's the guy who took real interest and time to make sure that I blossomed. So I thank you for that, Ken. I really do. I appreciate you with all of my heart, man. None of this would have been possible without you. I love you. Thanks for the smile that you share. We need more of that today. We need your smile, man, but we're going to smile for you. So thank you so much, Ken. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mrs. Ken Bell, for this opportunity to speak and for putting up with me. You see, I've interrupted her sleep many times. That's because elder brother Ken Bell and I would be on the phone sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning. Ken Bell was not only my mentor, he was my fraternity brother and my best friend. The legendary Ken Bell, in my humble opinion, is arguably the greatest radio man who ever lived. He's responsible for starting a lot of successful careers in the radio and entertainment industry, and some of them are living legends today, like the brother that just stepped down. With the mentoring of Ken Bell, I hope to one day make my mark as well. In my mind, I could hear him saying, "Don't worry, you will." I was introduced to Ken Bell at Ken Bell's Celebrity East nightclub in the 70s by one of my mentors who was also my godfather and the creator of the famous Motown Review, and that was the late, great Dr. Thomas H. Beans Bowles. I had a chance to perform for Ken Bell, and it was at one of these performances that I told Ken that I wanted to be just like him. He smiled and appeared to be amused and impressed by what I had said to him, and he asked me why. He always asked me why. I told him it was because he was known to help many aspiring DJs, recording artists, and entertainers. And it was at that point we became the best of friends and later truly best friends. I remember when I told him I wanted to go into the radio business and buy a radio station. That was the second time he asked me why. In the beginning, and that was the beginning of a series of whys whenever I told him about a decision I was going to make. He not only mentored me, he also helped me financially to get my business on the right path. He was very meticulous and detail-oriented. I understood the man and his methods. He was my mentor. He was teaching me how to be a man and how to make educated decisions. I looked forward to his mentoring daily. To say that I miss him is an understatement. Fate can be cruel sometimes. And like Little Sonny, another one of my mentors in the blues business, I'm a blues harmonica player, he's a harmonica player. But like Little Sonny once said in one of the songs that he wrote, "Last night, I lost the best friend I ever had."
Good morning, church. I'd just like to say that I'm saddened also because yesterday I buried my brother and then my best friend Ken Bell. You know, things in life have to be, if you really know God, in divine order. As I read his book of life, all the chapters, is very interesting because everything Ken Bell did was an A. In life, you can go through your life a E, a B, a C, a D, whatever, but not too many people in life get an A. So Ken Bell, he knew that God gave him this great talent. I call him the Master Blaster because that means that you are a master in your field. When I listened to Donnie Simpson about Ken Bell grabbing him and putting him on the radio, and on the radio, that was divine order. Because I remember When Pershing High School heard Donnie Simpson on the radio, they went crazy. And Detroit joined. All the entertainers out here, you know, Ken Bell helped you a lot. When you had your records out, no other DJ would play your records, but you can depend on Ken Bell. And he was good enough to tell you if you had it, if you're not. And if you didn't have it, he would work with you to see that you can get an A, just like God gave him. In life, entertainment is very hard. It's dog eat dog. And being very honest, I never trusted too many people in this business because I know what they can do for you. But Ken Bell was my brother. He was my God brother. When he first came here, his children would know I was over to their house every weekend, and we would go and party and have a good time. Every function that I threw, I had my brother Ken Bell on my side. Every function. Because the reason why I was throwing the Motor City Legends reunion tours on the Detroit Princess is because a lot of entertainers Detroit had forgot. So this was my opportunity to jumpstart their careers. And thank God we did that. There's not too many people in this world like Ken Bell. Ken Bell used to tell me, Gino, you know, I helped that person, but he don't appreciate it. He said, that's okay. I did God's will. So he brought all of us here today for a reason. Because we talk, Dorothy know, every week on the phone about his birthday celebration. We also talked about divine order. Because I know Ken and Dorothy, myself and my wife, we've been through so many trials and tribulations in this world, but they never complain. So I'm telling the entertainers out there, you read Ken Bell's Book of Life. We read everything he did, he got an A. Now's the time to look at his Book of Life. Maybe you can change some chapters in your life to get an A. Never give up your dream. It could be right around the corner. I want all the entertainers that Ken Bell helped, please stand up. Please. Everybody that Ken Bell helped, stand up. Give him. Thank you. And I'd like to say, I'm going to miss him dearly. And Dorothy, no. Every time I talked to Ken Bell, I always told him, I got your back. And he told me, I got yours too. God bless your family. Anything I can do, Ken Bell was my God brother. Feel free to call me. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is R.J. Watkins.
My name is Henry Tyler.
I'm the CEO of TV 33, WHPR 107.3 FM in the Virgin Islands in Detroit. When we grew up, I wanted to be, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be something with singing with the Temptations or something with Motown. I had a very great voice, I thought, to perform, but my voice changed. My voice changed, and I realized that I couldn't sing, and I couldn't be an entertainer. But then I learned that you don't have to sing to be an entertainer or to be with the entertainers. You can talk. You can interview the stars, and that's just as important. When we grew up, it was radio. Now there's television stations on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, thousands and thousands of channels. But when we grew up, TV went off at 11:30. How many remember that midnight? TV was gone. All we had is radio. We lay in that bed, and I would get inside of the radio. And guess who was on the radio? The Master Blaster, Ken Bell. All right? So could you imagine, Donnie went to Nolan, no, he went to Dolan for a while, Nolan Junior High. Nolan, and he don't remember this, but one day my grandfather had died, and I wanted to go to my show, my concert. And Daddy said, well, I'm going to leave it up to you, son. What do you want to do? Do you want to see your grandfather be buried, or do you want to go to your show? And I said, well, Dad, I said, Granddaddy would understand. He said, Granddaddy would understand that he know I love him, but I need to do my concert, Daddy. He said, you want to do your concert? I said, yeah. He said, boy, if you don't go upstairs and put that suit on, I'll break your neck. True story. But some kind of way, true story, some kind of way, I got back home after the funeral, and I knew I had time to make the concert at Nolan Junior High School. He said, you still want to go up there, son? I said, yeah, Daddy, I can. He said, I'm not going to take you. I said, I'll run. I ran from 7 Mile and Marks to Nolan, whatever street that's in. I can't remember the name of the street. I made it, and when I came through the side doors, who was on stage? Donnie Simpson. And Donnie said, and some, and now here's the Salvadors. I did that 5 heartbeat thing. I came on stage, boom, 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 bam. True story, Dorothy, true story. But it shows, but it shows you how we loved our entertainment. And when I had a chance to meet Ken Bell through Nat Morris, The Scene, WGPR 107.5, TV 62. Nat Morris allowed me and Henry to get down at GPR, and we learned so much. And I had a chance to meet the Master Blaster, Ken Bell. And like everybody says, he was humble, he was kind, he was love, he was the Master Blaster, Ken Bell. Do you have any idea what that meant to me? The man I listened to at nighttime on the radio in my bed all by myself. I have a chance to meet him, and he groomed me and Henry Tyler. He would come. We would do. We're doing specials every Thanksgiving. We decided to do something different on our radio station to entertain us, and we would do the Legends of Detroit radio. Donnie Simpson did a phone call in on the year before last with Ken Bell, and Ken Bell made all of our specials. I think
he made all of them.
Yeah, along with quite a few of them, and several other people did quite a few. We're still trying to get Mojo. That's Mojo. But Ken would groom us. He would talk to us. He walked around our station, and he wanted to do a concert, a get together so bad, but we're not finished remodeling our concert hall yet. But Ken is one of the reasons, along with Nat Morris and WGPR, and my good friend Reverend Holly, which is an executive board member of our station, TV and radio stations. Ken Bell, words can't tell you about this man, Ken Bell. This is a legend. This is a real, he's the radio. You hear about gentleman's gentleman. Ken is radio. And he's going to be dearly missed. And Dorothy and the family, great dad. Dorothy, great husband. Audience, great legend. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Ken Bell. We love you, sir.
Just got one little quick story. Back in the day, when Ken Bell had the club on the east side, Celebrity East, I heard a commercial on the radio station. Would you like to be a DJ? Come down and audition at the Celebrity East. I went down there. I said, I'm going to be a DJ. Walked in there and the line was around the corner. I said, well, I'll try another time, because it was just so many people showed up. And every year at Thanksgiving, sometimes it would be with his lovely wife. He would come to the station, and they would sit there, and we would do our legends, Detroit legends, and we would do like a 2-hour show and just feature all of the legends in Detroit. And I just want to let everybody know that Ken was there every year. If he couldn't get there live and in color, he would call us on the phone. And as a matter of fact, about a month or so ago, he called me and he said, I got a gentleman that needs some videos played on your station. I said, Ken, all you got to do is just give me the name. He gave me the name. I called the gentleman. The gentleman got the videos to me. Next day it was on the air. And that's what I had to do for Ken Bell, because anytime he would call me for something, I would be there for him. And I just want to let everybody know that I love Ken Bell and I appreciate everything he's done for the city of Detroit, and anything I can do for the family, just let me know. Thank you.
Let the church say amen. Amen. Let us say amen again. Amen. You've been so patient, and I know that indeed that we have indeed didn't come here because Ken died. We came here because he lived.